Hi, I'm Louise Fisher from O to Grow, and we have a very popular counselling course that we offer, which is online. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about it and see if maybe this is a course that you could find of value. So maybe you're a speech therapist or an occupational therapist, and you have a client that comes in for therapeutic intervention. You enter the session and you have a specific goal or goals that you would like to achieve during your therapy session. And as you start, your client becomes very emotional or very angry. Something happened before the session, or maybe something has been triggered in the session. And now you're not sure, how do I, first of all, hold this emotion? A lot of us as therapists will jump in and try and fix it, problem solve it. Let's just see what is it that's making you upset and how can we try and solve it as quickly as possible and move on. So the first skill we teach you, one of them, is to hold this emotion and for the client to understand what's going on inside of them. And so in that way that the client comes to insight and is able to resolve their own situation. How do we contain and hold them in that? And how do you seamlessly move from a therapeutic intervention session slowly into more counseling session? And if the client reaches the equilibrium again, maybe you can continue with your therapy session, or maybe that becomes the end of your therapy. So maybe that's one scenario that resonates with you. Another scenario that might resonate with you is that you see, but the client is not doing homework, or they're really not getting to the goals that you set during intervention, and you start wondering, I wonder if there's a bit of a self-sabotage or a block towards therapy that we are keep bumping our heads against. And so how do I manage this? How do I get around it? And that's something also that we discuss in our counseling course. How do you take that situation and take a step back and help your client to unravel the blocks and try and see what's going on? Maybe that is something that resonates with you. Or maybe you have got done an assessment and you have difficult news to explain to your client or to the parents of your client what exactly is going on. And you know this is going to be difficult news for them to hear. Maybe they've come in with expectations or they've told you things and you know that's not realistic in terms of what you're about to share with them, the results of the assessment. And so you're wondering, how do I give this difficult news? And so in our counseling course, we also talk a lot about how do we give that news and still hold people, because it is difficult to hear, and create the space and support them with counseling. So one of the things in our counseling course is that we put a lot of emphasis on the practical. So we give you the theory, we make sure that you understand what we're trying to achieve, how we're trying to achieve it, and then we move over into practical. Because we know that knowledge does not change behavior. Just because you know how doesn't mean you can do it. And so one of the popular elements of our counseling course is that there's a strong practical leg to it, that by the time you finish the course, we almost guarantee you will be confident enough to be able to implement the counseling techniques from the next day after the counseling has ended. So maybe that's something else that you're feeling, gosh, I'm not quite sure if this is just going to be another course. I can guarantee you it won't. I think the other thing is to understand that we also talk a little bit about how to contract in terms of counseling. We talk about how to attend to resistance. We talk about how to hold emotions without fixing them. And then there are very specific skills that we train you in. And those skills like reflecting, holding silences, minimal verbal responses, questions are very different in a counseling space than what you would use normally in therapy. And so all of that then is built on one skill at a time, that by the end you feel very confident. So we're hoping that you're going to join us. We are offering the counseling course to you. If you are serious about this and you think that this could be something that you can put in your toolbox to make you a more effective therapist and be able to really support more clients that come to you, then please make sure that you reach out to us so that we can book your spot in our next counselling course. So I'll hope I'm going to see you there. Keep well.